You ready, big boy?
I'm ready.
Legends, welcome to another episode of the INTOCHANGE Podcast, and thank you for joining me, your host Ben Lowe, and Liam Work. But before I introduce Liam, I do have a very small favour to ask, and that is if you have been enjoying the podcast, even just the slightest little bit, if you can please go and hit that subscribe button and share this with just one of your friends, because as you know, the more eyes and ears we get on the podcast, the bigger and better guests I can bring for you guys, and in turn, the more value I'm going to be able to deliver. But over to today's guest, Liam, my man, thank you for coming on.
Ready, mate?
Appreciate you, my man. So, Liam is a good friend of mine. We met earlier this year through a mutual friend who was actually my housemate, old Willie Mex.
Yeah.
Now, Liam is actually someone who struggled with very similar to myself. So, ice addiction, benzo addiction, sex addiction, you name it, he was probably doing it. Who has now turned his life around and is not just wanting to focus on himself, but wanting to focus on the general community to help young men to overcome the things that he was struggling with. So, Liam, bro, honestly, the growth I've seen in you in the last 12 months that I've known you has just been fucking phenomenal, bro. I think that when we first started talking on Instagram, actually it was, and I didn't even realise you were a friend of old Willie Mex's, but he told me, no, that's my mate Worthy sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you came along the Mega Run, I think, after you just got out of rehab. So,
Yeah.
you've been out of rehab now how long?
So I'm just over 8.5 months clean. So I did 6 weeks in rehab. So
That was this time, right?
Yeah. So do the maths. I think I think I got out in May, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the first week I headed straight to Mega Run. Actually talked to you in there.
Yeah.
You sent me a message, as you do. You send everyone a message as soon as they follow you.
Yeah.
Who's this
I
bloke?
want to make sure where everyone's at, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a vibe. But yeah, I remember I was just sitting on my bed in rehab and I got a message off you and I was like, oh, spin out, like, because I was actually watching some of your videos, you know, and just connecting and listening to things, and you know, you got plenty of time in rehab there to reflect, so and just think about a lot of things. So yeah, that was what I was sort of doing, and yeah, I knew as soon as I got out of there, I had to throw myself in the deep end. So Mega Run was where it was at.
So when you say deep end, what does that mean for you, bro? So throwing yourself in the deep end, getting out of the comfort zone, or?
Oh, 100%. You know, I stayed in that comfort zone, and it wasn't even, as soon as I felt uncomfortable, I would pick up. So, and that was, I guess, from myself.
When you say pick up, like you get on the drugs?
Yeah, I'd pick straight up, you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes I wouldn't even be aiming out to get on the heavy stuff, like as I did, like I'd pick up Xanax or something, but as soon as that touched me, like it was a blackout, and you know, I'd end up waking up, like I'd come out of a blackout and I'd fucking be off my head, and yeah, that was, I just knew that like I had to put myself into uncomfortable situations to sort of grow in a sense, and that was like, that was just the first thing I did, you know. And the first week out on the Sunday, I was like, bugger it, like I was watching your videos while I was in there, and you know, I was watching you run in the rain, and like I was just going, this looks mad.
Love that shit.
Yeah,
bro.
so
Love that shit. One thing I do want to pick up on that you just said there was about getting out of the comfort zone, bro.
yeah,
And this is something I want to put out to everyone, is that if you're stuck where you are and you can't seem to make a change and you keep doing the same shit, it's because you're in the comfort zone. That comfort zone is the killer of all dreams. Whatever your dream is, your goals, your aspirations. The thing is, if you weren't, how do I phrase this? If you were able to get uncomfortable, you'd already have that dream, right? Because at the end of the day, in that comfort zone is where you are. That's what's been known as the known familiar.
yeah,
Yeah, like, so for you, addiction, for me, it was same thing, like addiction, alcohol, drugs, womanizing,
yeah,
all that sort of stuff. And it keeps us stuck, it keeps us in the comfort zone because our body just wants to stay comfortable, right? And as kids, we get told what? Don't do things that make you what?
well,
Uncomfortable.
yeah,
Right? So it's funny that we get taught this as kids, but also it's our body's only real purpose is to survive. And so by being comfortable, it means it has to use less calories, which then means that it's not thinking as much, which means it's saving itself that energy, which then in turn, this is why we get stuck in that constant habit cycle, right? So for you, it was, by the sounds of things, as soon as you felt a bit uncomfortable, as soon as you felt a little bit like you didn't want to sit with your emotions, right? Or something was coming up for you that didn't feel nice. It was like, boom, go back to the thing I've always done, which was numb myself.
Well, I had no, I couldn't handle any of my emotions. I had no skills to do that. I would just get instantly overwhelmed. And I guess that's been happening since I was young. So like I never sort of learnt how to deal with my emotions ever. So
You're not alone.
Definitely not
yeah,
alone with that, bro.
like it's like I'm 30 now, and this is like the journey that I'm on now is sort of teaching me that, like,
We have these conversations quite regularly.
yeah,
Right?
and it's
And I think as well, just sorry to interrupt again there, but like once again as men, okay, so we get
Told, don't do things that make you uncomfortable as a kid. But as a kid, we also get told as young boys, don't show vulnerability.
yeah,
Big boys don't cry. So in other words, don't express. It's not okay for you to take up space and express your emotions,
yeah,
which is the polar opposite of what it should be. What we should be teaching our kids, right?
oh, 100%.
But yeah, so like you
couldn't sit with your shit. You couldn't sit with your shit. You couldn't sit with your emotions.
so drugs
No.
was the answer for you.
Well, and then like I just had this, like this whole my core belief was like about myself is like how do I say it, like I just didn't have any self-worth, so like I couldn't, there was no point in sitting, like I just would write myself off because I just couldn't like sit with it, you know what I mean? So
I don't deserve to be any better than this.
yeah. So that's what I was trying to say, but it was a victim. So I had this victim mentality, you know what I mean? And I guess like the way I see it now, like from growing up and sort of like taking a step back and looking at my life and not just using those things as an excuse, but actually like growing wiser off them, you know, like there's a lot of things that I've told myself over the years, and not only that, like through school, like I was told, you know, like there's something wrong with you, you need to be medicated, like all through school, like start, like teachers were constantly telling my mum that she needs to medicate me, like I was the class clown, like, but I wasn't meant,
right?
You
yeah,
didn't fit in, but you were the class clown.
yeah, I wasn't meant to be in a room sitting still and doing all that, you know. I shouldn't have been, like, that just wasn't me, obviously. And I think a lot of kids grow up with that as well, that they get labelled these things because they're not the normal of they're able to just sit there and be still and do your work, you know. And
Yeah.
so I constantly had that, like, they tried to make me repeat some years. So constantly every year I was in a Catholic school, so they were making me go to these private lessons with these sisters of the church to try and like bring me, like snap me back out of it
You fucking
and
holy and shit.
make me normal.
Yeah.
Like
So from what I'm hearing here, bro, the self-worth piece, like the stuff, and obviously this is the thing, like
Light bulb moment for anyone out there listening. But addiction is going to come back to self-worth every day of the week. Every single day of the week, because it comes back to trying to make yourself feel more good or feel less bad.
yeah.
So when was the earliest time that you remember in your life, like, let's go back to childhood, bro. The earliest time that you remember the self-worth being an issue and the, I guess, wanting to numb it with something, whether it be obviously at an earlier age, you know, being the class clown, to deflect and take the attention off you in some which ways, or take the attention off who you were feeling like you were. But then also, as you got older, when you started to turn to drugs to do this. So when was, like, I guess, the first time that you sort of felt that lack of self-worth?
I think that for me personally, out of my like family and my brothers and sisters, would have probably been like the time that obviously my parents split up when we were younger. Like my dad wasn't.
How old were you?
I think I was in year 3. I remember mum coming to school and pulling me out of the classroom when I was in year 3, I'm pretty sure.
So that's about 8 years old, 9 years old.
Yeah, and like obviously we grew up in it, like it was a bit of a, you know, Dad was a big drinker, that's what I'll say about that, so. But like sort of like my whole family then sort of got torn apart in a sense because Dad took like my brothers, you know, and they're with him to live with him, and like I think we're eight and my 2 older brothers are 17 months apart, and the oldest one we're 8 years apart. So, but yeah, they're older, you know what I mean. And they went and lived with Dad, and I went and lived with my sister and my mum. And like I guess really for me it was like so I got sort of torn away from my brothers, and I didn't really see much of them. I don't really have many memories with my childhood through that. I don't know. You know, I've talked to some people, they say it might be a coping mechanism where they shut them out, but like I don't really have that. Like and I just knew that like my dad, he didn't really want much to do with us. Obviously he's stuck in his own addiction.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like now I'm older, I can understand that with like obviously some things that happened in his life that, you know, he just couldn't break through and get past. So, you know, now I've gotten older, I can understand, you know, but I think that's where my self-worth started, because it was like
Abandonment.
it was abandonment pretty much, yeah. So that's the yeah, I reckon that's pretty much where it all started.
So
And then,
yeah, year 3 when parents split, man.
yeah,
It's funny how we have these pivotal moments in our life that define us, right? And especially because at that age, like 8, 9 years old, whatever it might be, 7, 8, 9, like you don't know how to process those emotions. All that you feel or all that you see is dad's not here anymore, he left me.
mm,
And then you take that and then carry it through the rest of your life until you actually start to work on that shit, right?
yeah.
And so you're carrying around this backpack, right, with all your emotions and all your shit in it. And every time you meet someone, you're like, here, take this, because that's coming with me, right? That
Yeah.
baggage.
And I remember like us being young, like eventually he would have us every second weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and your sister?
Me and my sister,
Yeah.
yeah. And like he's got a house, like most of my grandfather's house. It's I think my oldest brother maybe was still there, or he might, but like my brother Adam, he was living at dad's, and you know, there's like my sister had her room. There was another room with this pooch bed on there. Like it was a bit of a party house, my dad's house, because
Sesh pad.
well, dad wasn't home. He was at the pub every night until like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Then he'd come
so
home,
the
and
fucking brothers just got fucking shit
so they
going
could
on.
do whatever they wanted. And you know, I remember going down there and like dad couldn't even like set me up in bed. You know, I had to sleep with me dad.
Yeah.
Fucking he snored too. I can't deal with snorers, bro, because
Shut up, cunt.
like literally like that's in my head, bro, forever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like being young and not being able to sleep because snoring. Like
Ladies, the man is single, but if you snore, you've got no fucking chance. You hear that? Repressed memories, you might accidentally end up with a punch in the mouth.
oh man, yeah.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
There was actually one person I allowed to snore and I didn't mind it, but yeah. Nah.
Probably wouldn't have kicked you out of bed if she farted.
Nah.
But so obviously childhood was a little bit rough for you, you know, like just coming through that.
yeah.
Self-worth was definitely something that then you struggled with from there on out.
Yeah.
So when did the drugs kick in for you, bro? At what age?
So how it ended up happening was, it's pretty funny how it ended up happening with like where we lived at the time, because my dad owned a house on the river. It was my grandfather's house, and mum actually, the house that she wanted to buy was above my dad's house. So you walk down the hill and meet like the 4 properties, like
Yeah.
obviously 4 properties, and the fences meet in the middle.
Yeah.
I just jump over the fence and at dad's house.
Yeah.
So you know, obviously my older brothers were down there, and like they're older, so like I think obviously
So about 5
Adam,
to 7 years.
yeah, so Adam would have been like drinking and that was pretty much how now I look at it, is that's how I connected with my brothers again. Was I'd go down there while like they were there, because it was a part, like there was a party house, you know what I mean, and I don't have any other memories besides that, being able to go down there, you know, like smoking durries. Like I was tried smoking ciggies when I was like 8, so like, you know what I mean, like in the town streets of Kempsey, or like I remember stealing cigarettes off my mum when obviously we were exposed to that as kids, but
Yeah, especially in Kempsey, right?
you know, I was very sly, because we lived out Willow Warren when I first had it, and like it was quite funny. Me and my brother Adam shared a room, and like so it was before we moved into Kemp, so I would have been 6, 5, 6, and like I used to take bumpers, and like I'd just try them, you know. And, I hit a couple in my room because I shared a room with Adam. I didn't get the blame. I was like, no, it wasn't mine. But I was too young. They wouldn't have thought anything about that. But you know, obviously, yeah, I grew up and we sort of exposed to those things. And
Because fucking
I'd hear something going on down at my brother's house. So my dad's and I'd run down there and it'd be all like people hanging out drinking and that was just how I connected, you know. They'd be pouring me shots of beer up. Just like, you know, would have been 11 years old, 11, 12 years old. Probably, yeah. And
Oi,
so that
brother,
was pretty much where it all sort of started there. And, you know, obviously, I was living in town at the time, so we were started skating. So like I was a little skater boy downtown, hanging around the skate park,
Oh, just kick.
shredding. Yeah. So I was always older people I was hanging out with. You know, no one really my age, no one really from my school. You know, which then like obviously there's harder homes from where I'm from as well. So the people that I used to skate with, you know, some of their parents are loose cannons, you know. Like I'm lucky in a sense that, you know, I had my mum and you know that, and she worked very hard for us as a single mum. You know, I love my mum to death. But yeah, like there's some rough joints around there. So I was hanging around some pretty wild like areas that, you know, I probably shouldn't have, but like when you're young, you idolise those people. You know, you idolise people that are doing stuff like that, and so I think I started smoking. I had my first billy when I was in year 7, so I was like 12.
Yeah.
I had that, and it was funny. My brother found out the next day. He was clicking, and but like I used to go into his room after that and steal his weed. So
Yeah.
and like, I'd bring my mates over while he wasn't home and
Smoke his weed.
smoke his weed, pretty much.
Leave it like one going to the bowl.
Yeah. No, I'd take it out of his little paper bag he had. And even if it was just leaf, you know, we were young, so you still got high.
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah, then it just continued from then. You know, I was by 14, 15, I was pretty much smoking as much as I could.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I had to keep it under like a certain part because I lived at mum's, but then, you know, I hit that teenage year of being an angry young man, pretty much, young teenager, and me and mum obviously had a fight, and you know, and I was like, I'm going to live with dad.
Yeah.
I knew what I could do at dad's,
You do whatever you want.
whatever the fuck I like. And then yeah, so I moved to dad's and yeah, did it. Like I had mates over all the time. I used to drink all the time. And that was what we did. And yeah, I think we were like 15, 16, and obviously I was still going to school. I always did that, and I mean I was always in trouble at school. I didn't really do school.
Yeah. You showed up.
Just showed up, you know.
Showed face.
Hang out with the boys.
Yeah, like it was one of those things. But yeah, and then obviously, it's funny. Like my dad started seeing a partner, and all of a sudden he was like, "You got to move out." I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "I'm selling the house. I'm going to live with his new partner."
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Second time in your life you've been in you.
yeah, pretty much. And like I remember, like we had an argument, and you know, he grabbed me and threw me on the bed and like had me by the throat, I think it was, and you know, I was like, "Fuck you!" Like, you know, like, what do you mean you're fucking leaving again?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, so that happened, and I moved back to mum's, and it's all really just like a blur through, like, you know, the rest of my time there. And you know, like I played soccer, I did some things. Like I did have a partner for quite some time down there. Like we met in high school, and throughout all this time, like we were together on and off for like 6 years. And you know, I wasn't the best person in the world.
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate a little bit on that, bro?
Well, I wasn't. I was a young teenager, young, dumb, and full of
What does a young dumb teenager do, brother?
He just does what he wants, really. Doesn't think, doesn't impulse, and so like I hurt someone that I cared about a lot. In the end, and you don't realise until you lose them for good. So like that, obviously that happened about when I was 20. When that.
You guys met in high school?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, 4 years or something.
And, so that happened. I just remember waking up one morning, and, sitting there and she was on the phone. Like, I just that just like I'm still close with her mum and that. Like, they're just people I visited because I was around for so long. Some things happened through that time. So it's still a connection of like they're good friendships of mine. And but like I was starting to go off the rails from that, and like there's Kempsey's like there's not many paths you can take down there. It's either
Small town, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's it's not much there.
So when you say there's not like many paths you can take, what are the options usually? What would you say the options were for you?
Well, the options that I was doing down there, I was working in a sawmill.
Yeah.
And people there's lifers there, bro.
Yeah.
Working in that sawmill.
Yeah.
$730 a week.
Never left the fucking town.
Never left the town. And I think actually that's part time. So like casual. So I think when you're full time, it's less than that. So and then there's an abs. I didn't work at the abs there, but I started abattoirs. Yeah, I think they're like $480 a week. People paying mortgages off that, bro, down there. And you can start. Obviously, you can become trippy in that, which is what I tried to do while I was down there with my uncle, and we had a bit of a falling out. And he's a hard ass. He was good, bud, because he taught me a lot. Like, I'll give him that, but we clashed because I was just an idiot, really. When I think about it, I was an idiot, but I was just young and I was addicted to. I didn't like the rules, and I was addicted to things, and without even knowing I was addicted to things. You know what I mean? I was just doing what I wanted.
Yeah.
And substance was that, like that was the choice, down there. So.
Yeah. So when did the ice come into play for you? What age?
So my brother said I wanted to pull you up here to the Gold Coast because he'd lived up here for about 8 years, roughly. And he said just before it gets worse, I want you to come up here. And
before shit sort of really hits the fan.
Yeah, and like I was like, okay, like there was nothing down there for me. I was alone, like constantly. I was like that person that knew everyone and bounced around from all groups, but I didn't have like my one tribe.
You didn't.
You know what I mean?
Find your people that you fit in with.
I just like I fitted in with everyone, but how everyone's got like.
You blended to everyone.
I blended like.
Yeah.
Like, but everyone's got that good friend or like, that's solid. Like.
I do all too well, man.
And like, but that was what I didn't have, and so I was like, oh, bugger it, I'll move. And so I moved up here, and I think that was just before I turned 21 because I went back down home for my 21st birthday. And, excuse me. And, moved up here, obviously started just partying up here. I was friends with some people that were all from down that way as well that lived up here, and that's all we did. We just partied. I got a job doing solar with me mate, and that was pretty much what we're doing. And then I moved into a house, like we finally, because we were staying with our mates, so it was real crowded, and me and my sister finally got a place together because my sister had moved up by then, and we got a place just in Arundel, and we moved next door. And like I was like, I'm gonna try and get off the weed, like because we moved out of the place where it was just constantly there, and I was like, I'm just gonna try and get off it again.
Yeah, bro.
And moved into a place in Arundel, and I just like I'm not an idiot, We've been around the game for a while. Where I was looking at my next door neighbour, and a couple of people had walked in there through the day, and I'm like, fuck, she sells weed for sure. I was like, I'm trying, but bugger it, I could go for a mix.
Yeah.
And I saw her out front. I just walked over and I was like, "How you going? You wouldn't know anywhere to get in green." She's like, "Come in."
Just like that.
I was like, "You're kidding!" Like, smoking can pick a smoker too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were like, obviously just like it was right there. Like, my dealer lived next door to me, so I just started fucking smoking again constantly. Like, I didn't stop really. As soon as you wake and bake, and then the job that I got, because her housemate was this older bloke, and I said, fuck, I was out the back and he was having a beer, so I'd go out and have a beer with him, you know, and got chatting. He worked at Beataway Little. It's like a shop fitting mob up here.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, what, you looking for work, are you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, we might be looking for someone." It was funny how he like got me the job. He's like, "All right, watch this," and he pulled a tape out, and he was on the piss, so it was pretty funny, and put it along the line, and he's like, "Yeah, all right, that's 12.40." I was like, "No, it's not." And he's like, and pointed at me like that, and he's like,
You got the job?
"Yeah." Oh, it was just like the randomest thing ever. Like,
That's fucking hilarious.
just because I pulled him up, I was like, "That's not that, bro."
Yeah.
And so yeah, I got the job there. Started working there, and there was a young, I had tried ice before I moved up here. It was a bloke that just got out of jail when I was working at the sawmill, and a few of my mates lived next door to the sawmill. Like, they owned the house, so it was cheap rent there. And this guy just rocked up from jail, and he's pretty much the one that flooded it back into Kempsey, and we were like, fuck it, we'll try it, but this is it. Like, we're just going to try it.
One and done.
One and done. And like,
See what the hype's about.
we were just chasing the dragon with like, he made this little device, bro, that was like, I don't even know what
Bro,
it
you get the
was.
fucking pen,
But it was
you get
the
fucking tail light.
Well,
out of
no,
the
it was
fucking
like
car.
these two plastic bulbs that were like melted together and had two straws on either side. So it would like go up there and like, it was just this little device, bro. It was spinning out and
Yeah,
got the foil out.
activities.
Got the foil out and chased it. And I remember him even saying, he's like, when we had it, he goes, "I'm going to own everything in your house. Like, as soon as you try it." That's what he said. You know what I mean? Because, like, I guess that, you know, that's just how crazy it is, you know.
That's
And
how
literally,
crazy-
that is
quite
how
literally
crazy
how
it is.
crazy it is, bro.
And, like, obviously we tried it, and that was it. Like, it was, I can't even remember what age I was. Maybe I was 19, 20 when that happened, maybe 20. And, yeah, I moved up here, and then when I started working at Beataway, there was a young bloke that was working there, and me and him sort of like,
Got well along.
well, it was like that comfort thing again, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's people that I've hung out with before, you know, rough,
Yeah.
tatted up, fucking smoked heaps of weed.
Yeah.
So that's how you connect.
That's
Like,
the crew,
we're not
right?
even friends, bro. We smoke weed, so we can be mates now.
Everyone should, mate, when you got drugs, right?
Yeah.
You fit in.
So yeah, and then I went around to his, and you know, that was where it sort of started again, because he would smoke that, and I was like, fuck it, I'll try some. And then when he introduced me, like, he gave me his dealer's number where I could get weed, and then I could get that, and so I could get anything I fucking wanted to. This guy supplied everything, delivered. So that's what I'd do. And you know, then it started where I was always someone who used where I'd do like 4 days on, 3 off, or 4 on, like, or whatever I could do, you know what I mean?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, so I'd have a tasting on Thursday, like, and then it would just go from there, you know, and then like I got pretty bad there, and I remember one time I was hanging out with this chick, and we went around, we were like doing mission laps and around the whole coast, and
Can't get on.
nah, I think we're just burning time while we were burning, and like, I left me pipes and that at home in my room, and my sister went in my room, and fucking obviously seen them, and then I got a phone call off my brother, and I was selling caps at the time too. So like, he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "No, nothing." He's like, "Who are you with?" And I told him who I was with, and he's like, "What are you on?" And I was like, "I just had some caps." He's like, "That want to be all you having?" But he knew I was on it because my sister had already rung him and told him, and that was when I sort of like went, okay, I got to sort of pull up.
Yeah.
And like I pulled up a bit, but we were still eating MD on the weekends, and so I didn't really pull up. I just sort of stopped.
Just stopped from one to the other.
Yeah, just stopped the pot for a little bit, and it wasn't until like I was, I worked through all that, but I was on and off it constantly anyway. Like a couple months would go by, 6 weeks would go by, and I'd try it again, and like then I was starting to do things while I was on it that would like you said, like I got picked up sex addictions on it, and that's why I would then like use that like to enhance, your sexual pleasures or whatever and that sort of stuff, and I mean a lot of it just came down to again that self-worth sort of stuff. Like, am I going to be good enough? Like, like
This makes me good enough.
There's this stigma around sex now that you need to be like this top dog, like with porn, like you see porn, it's like this is how it should go, or like,
oh bro, fucking if I haven't got 3 girls squirting on me, then it's fucking not
yeah,
worth it, right?
like, and like some chicks like are like an hour solid, or like, and it's like, you know what I mean? So
I'm in and out like a robbery.
Yeah,
what are you
like,
talking about?
you know what I mean? So then you're thinking in like, because I'm an overthinker, bro.
Yeah,
so
you start to doubt yourself, right?
and that's all I ever did was like, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to last long enough? Like, and it's always in the back of our head for us blokes, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like a thing that we need to do, and it's the most like if it happens, like we're like, oh, this, you're getting talked about, you know what I mean? And like, so I use that, but for like to enhance, but then, that self-worth really took it away from me, because I started to feel like I wasn't good enough for anyone, especially women, and like that, like I thought I was literally, my core belief, bro, was I was a piece of shit.
Can you tell me a bit more about, I guess, the road that led to you believing that? Was it like a certain chain of events? Was there like a real rock bottom moment for you? What was it that actually gave you that belief around yourself? And if it was a couple of things, feel free to run through those, bro. And obviously only if you're comfortable.
I think it just it happened just over parts of my whole life.
Yeah.
Obviously with my dad, growing up, and then like that sort of thing, like having that partner who I hurt, and I know that I treated wrong. Like when you grow up, you fully,
you start to realise,
you
right?
reflect like
Yeah.
of what you did, and someone that I cared about and that I lost a lot. Like,
When you say you did wrong, like you cheated on and that sort of stuff.
yeah, bro, yeah. So I did all that, and I just wasn't a good person, bro. Like I was so delusional that like about like a lot of things, man, that's what it made me. When I grew up a bit more, I realized, like, fuck, man, I was delusional. Like, I was an asshole. I wasn't a good person, and
I was the people that my parents warned me about.
yeah, like pretty much. And
It's a bit of an awakening, right? When you have that moment where it's just like, it's me.
yeah,
And like, when was it that the penny really dropped for you?
Because I can take a stab and probably say there was multiple times where you were like, I need to make a change, but obviously then you tried to and didn't. But the first time that penny dropped for you and you started to try and make these changes, what was the event that took place for you to actually go, this is me?
it just came down to I just couldn't trust myself. Like, so like I would constantly be trying to do something like better, or like try and like do anything, and I'd fail. And like I remember saying to my brother, like, I just don't know how to do life, bro. Like, I'm so fucking lost. Like, I don't know what to do.
Like a sense of lack of purpose.
Like, I lived in just pure fear. Like I was just a scared little boy, bro. For like, and that was for a long time, bro. Like I said, I'm 30, bro, and like that was still going last year.
Yeah, bro. I hear that, man.
And like that was my life of just being just pure fear, bro. And then like through my addiction, what I would do, like with the things that I started to do while I was on the gear, to seek pleasure, to find validation, to find that's like someone might have wanted me. You know what I mean? I think that was what I craved, bro, in life so hard. Just to someone to want me and be like legit about it. You know what I mean? There's no alternative sort of anything. Like it was just that I was just so alone, bro. Like that was pretty much how I felt, bro. And like, you know, I fell out with all the friends that I had from down home. So I lived in this city where, like, I didn't know no one. Like, I knew a couple of people I'd met through using, but I knew fucking no one, bro. So that was another thing, like. And then, like, obviously you get on those dating sites and they just made me feel worse, bro. Like, getting on Tinder like, I think there was only Tinder really back then. And
Babes and escorts.
Lacano, bro. Oh. But even then, like,
All those things.
I didn't want that, bro. I didn't want to have to pay someone to want me. Do you know what I mean? In a sense, like, I didn't want to have someone to pretend. So I seek things that were easier, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of those things I have to accept that I went there, you know, and
Yeah, bro.
and a lot of those things made me start questioning who I was as a person too, bro. A lot of experiences that I'd went through was like making me question, like, who the fuck am I? What am I? And then that started the fear all over again, bro. Are people going to find out what I'm doing?
What
Constant.
stuff are you talking about here?
Just like through like pleasure, like sex,
Like
through stuff like
swinging,
that,
stuff like
like
that.
just all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
bro. And like
Yeah.
it was just like there was so much fear around it that I was just that was my life, bro. And then like I couldn't stop using, and I knew what was gonna happen every time I used, bro. Like because I knew that I was gonna get overly horny as fuck. This is what you do, and especially when you're on gear and Frank,
Yeah.
and then throw a blue pill in on that too. Like it's a concoction of just like you just don't give a fuck. And then like you have a Xanax on top of that too. You're blacked out. Who knows what you're gonna be doing, like. And then you'd come down, bro, and you'd just be like, fuck. Just sick to your stomach. Like, realising where you've been, what you've been doing, and like, and then you've just like, there's just so much like that. There's so much shame. There's so much guilt, and there's so much hatred for yourself. And this was the cycle that I was living in, bro. Like it was just constant. Yeah, just constant, bro. Of just those thoughts. There was nothing positive in my life. I was angry all the time.
It's heavy, bro.
And that was all I want. Like that was my life. And then, you know, that went on for years. Like, and like I mean, there was some good times in it, but as soon as I picked up the pipe, bro, it was never good.
Everything went out the window, eh?
It was
Or
never
anything
good.
Yeah.
You know, me and my mate used to catch up every Wednesday night and drink beer, and we listen to Alan Jackson, and like maybe a bit of Slim Dusty. You know what I mean? And like, and he's like still a good brother of mine. Like he lives back down home. But then like we'd start getting a bag, and then the less and less beers got drunken,
More
and more bag got smoked.
Yeah.
Till like that was it. And like there's three things you can do on the gear, bro, and that's You're a chronic gambler.
Mm-hmm.
You're a sex pest, or you're just a chronic thief.
Yeah.
Like that's,
Well, you're all three.
no, well, I wasn't all three. Like, I still wanted to keep my, my values. I don't want to steal from people.
Yeah.
And it came to a point where I was using more than I could afford.
Yeah.
And, and there's other things I've got to forgive myself for there as well, because I just, instead of stealing from people and taking away my values and hurting other people, I just hurt myself, bro. Over and over again. And I did what I had to get more shit.
That's literally what it turned you into, right?
And, I was fucking soulless, bro. Like, I had nothing, like... And even when it, like, came to the point, like, in years over, and probably, like, when I was... just before I went into rehab when I was 26, I didn't even like the pleasure. Like, I was doing it because I was doing it, but nothing felt good.
Yeah, bro.
Nothing felt good anymore. Like, I could be getting
a hug right now, man.
I could be getting pleasured and I'd still be on my phone
Yeah, bro.
looking for more. Just that chase, bro. That chase of more, like. And like that's like I was just like I would even look at that, bro, and think like, who the fuck are you? Like you're sitting there with someone, but you're on your phone 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, and like that. So like that, and when it came to it, like my sister pretty much said, I'm ringing rehab to get you in there.
How old were you at this point?
I was 26, I think I was.
Yeah.
It was right before my birthday. Well, actually, she booked in, and I got off the fucking shit for 2 weeks because you had to detox.
Yeah.
Stopped smoking for like a week.
You couldn't be on the shit when you went in there.
Week went by, I wasn't smoking, I wasn't touching anything. I felt great. Cancel rehab. I'm all good.
Don't need that shit.
Don't need that. Fucking. And like I don't even know why. And I think back now, I don't even know why. Like I wasn't ready to get clean. I wasn't. I don't know. I think I just wanted them to stop worrying. Like my sister, I put my sister through hell. Like I love my sister to death for what she's done for me. Like, and what she does for my whole family, really.
She's like the glue, right? Holds everything together.
She's pretty, like, she's solid. And, but yeah, like thought I was right, and then I just went back out. And like by then I'd stopped work and COVID had sort of hit.
Oh, it's fucking putrid through COVID, eh?
And like I was just like, I'm not fucking working. Like, tried to sell drugs, but I can't sell drugs, bro. Like, that's one thing I can't do. And I've tried it many times, but it's just like,
I just end up using them all.
like, I just can't sell drugs, bro. I either use or I just can't be fucked. Like, I don't want to, the paranoia that comes with it. Like, I'm not a salesperson, especially not for drugs, bro. So it was never going to work. Like, and then like, obviously, okay, I got admitted and I made the decision, all right, I'm going to go to rehab.
Yeah.
And that's
This
sort
is
of,
the first time you actually went.
yeah, and that sort of has kicked off like my journey into trying to get clean. I went in there and I was
Trying to or getting clean, bro? Because you're fucking clean now, 8 months.
well, yeah. This is back then. I was trying, you know what I mean,
Gotcha.
and I made it 3 weeks, and one of the staff members said you look smacked out, and I was like, fucking whatever. And the next day, they asked me how I felt. I went around the room and I was like, I was a bit upset because I'm in rehab, and then they decided, one of the staff said I looked like I was smacked out. And I felt like dropping him. Boom. Half an hour later, I get called out. Look, mate, you're
Yeah, the fuck off.
gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to be on a stand down because you can't say that shit.
Well, you can't say that you feel like dropping someone.
So it was like a intimidation, towards violence, towards something. So I was just like,
Sorry, you can't speak your mind. You can't tell people how you're really feeling. You can't be vulnerable in a place where I'm trying to get better with all this stuff.
yeah.
Fuck, does that not just sound like a broken system?
Yeah, bro. And I was like obviously I'm a fresh at it, like trying to get clean. And I was like, well, fuck you then.
Yeah.
Like, I blew up. I fucking had to cry to my sister because I wanted it. I wasn't ready then, but I wanted it. And then I went and fucking got on the piss. I stayed in Burleigh, next to the Burleigh Hotel. And I stayed there for a couple of days, and I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'm gonna go in Burleigh and have a drink." And then Burleigh had a drink, walk through this. And I was like, "Oh, I'll go bludge a ciggy." And I was like, I went out into the smokers area, bludged one of them, and then I walked through the pokers. I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'll throw." So all these little fucking addictions, all three of them.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll throw some money in, and sat next to this Sheila, and she looked over at me and looked up, and she just like sort of lit up a little bit, and she's like, "How you going?" I was like, "Oh, good." And then we sort of talked, and like I'm open with my addiction, bro. Now, like I talk about it like it's like I day at the beach.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? I got no shame, bro, in it anymore. Like, and like I was like, "Oh, really? I just got fucking. I'm waiting to go back in rehab. I just got kicked out the other week." And she's like, "Oh, I'm actually trying to go in there myself." And we had a little laugh. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You winner. And
Trauma bond.
And then she's like, "Oh, I've got to go, but here's my number. I'll come around later." And then she messaged me. She's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't want to tell you where I was going." And I was like, "Don't worry, you come over later and bring that with you." So she came over later, and we got on the pipe together. And like, so I got back on it, and then sat there coming down in shame in this hotel room. Couldn't leave. Didn't want to leave. Like I couldn't stand people to see me high, bro.
Yeah.
Because I hated myself so much, bro.
Yeah.
I just thought I looked like a piece of shit, and I knew everyone else probably thought it. So I just couldn't be out in the open, bro. Like I was in behind doors all the time, or like the only people I saw, I never fucking saw again, or like I never wanted to see again.
Yeah.
Because whatever I was doing, whatever, like my life was this big secret and big closed drawer of just addiction and just pain.
Shame.
And shame, bro. Like, so I ended up going back in there, got kicked out again 7 weeks later because the chick had said something that had happened which didn't happen. And as being a male, like I had said, well, how do I object this? And it's like, there's been an allegation, you can't. And I was like, that was when I was like, fuck this system, you know what I mean? This is a joke. And I used that as an excuse.
Yeah.
To kind of write myself off for the next fucking life. And that's when after I left then, that's when I picked up, that's when I tried the needle for the first time.
Yeah. After getting out of rehab for the second time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I had tried it before I went into the first time, but it was only a little one with like, it was with this Sheila and this other bloke, and I don't know if there wasn't much there, but there was enough for the cough, you know what I mean? And but I was already pretty, like I was like 5 days old, you know what I mean? So yeah, this time when I got out, I hit this dealer up that I knew that had it, and he's like, "Do you want it in a bag or blast?" I was like, "Fuck it, blast." I was like, well, let's just go in. And like I went from nothing
To 100.
to 100, bro. And like, I'll never forget that feeling, bro, when it runs up your arm, and it hits you. Like it's just like, I mean, I was having dreams about that when I was trying to get clean. I'd wake up in a sweat and the horrors, scared as fuck, like thinking that I was on the outside. Like, and then I just couldn't stop doing that. That was the only way I did it then. So I was like, why would I do it that way if I can do it this way and just be fucking off my head? And then it would hit me so much harder, bros, that all that, like, I would click into all those modes quicker and wouldn't even realise it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I'd
Just all-
I'd just be a totally different person straight away. And like, and then you add the other things that I was on it, like,
Benzos and shit.
oh, bro, like, it was fucking wild, man, really. Like, I don't, like, it felt good, but then the come downs were worse, bro. Because I'd still do 4 days on, 3 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off, this whole time, like, when I was stuck, and then work the whole way through, like I was talking about with you before, bro. Like I was doing solo up on roofs and shit, like coming down after a 4-day bender.
Not eating and shit, bro.
And like I've seized up in the car, bro. Like my whole body's seized, like on the M1,
When you told me this, yeah.
and like that's happened to me a few times. And yeah, like then I was just using like that, and by the end of it, when I went back into Logan House rehab, and
Is this the most recent time?
Nah. So this was in 2021. I think it was the 3rd of May, 3rd of March, 2021. I have that in my head because I was like, I'm gonna get clean on this day.
Yeah, I remember it.
I'm gonna stay clean. I remember I was like, I might even get it tattooed on me, like a dumb cunt. And like thinking I was gonna be clean forever, bro. And like I was still in the delusion of like that I could just get clean and stay clean and not work on myself. So like I was clean for a year, bro.
Just quickly, I want to touch on that. This is the thing that I see as a problem with rehabs is you go into this environment where all the outside influence and all the triggers and all the things that got you to where you were are taken away. And it's all well and good while you're in there because, well, there is drugs, people bring drugs in and shit like that, but it's harder to access them.
Yeah.
And then you get sent out on your merry little way. There's not really much aftercare. There's no like post fucking rehab fucking any like I guess care at all from what I've seen.
Yeah. Well,
And then all of a sudden you're back in the environment where all the triggers and all the things that got you to where you were originally are there.
yeah. They have a halfway house.
Yeah.
So you get piss tests 3 times a week. You do groups every morning. You got cheap rent and that. But like the worst part with rehab with me, the way I feel about it, man, it was people going there to get off substance and get put on another substance.
They just medicate us.
They get medicated, and like they tried to medicate me, and like I was like, nah, like. Man, they've been trying to medicate me fucking since I was in kindergarten. And I was like, there's no way, like, I'm good. And, like, a big difference what I noticed with how I felt was, okay, like, I wasn't eating the best food. It's a high carb diet in there, bro. Like, I was 101 kilos when I got out in just before 2022. So I spent, like, because I was clean from a year from that point, from March 3rd, and the next day of me being clean for a year, I saw my mate down the beach with a 6-pack.
Crack it open, let's go again.
I was like,
Start the cycle.
is this fucking the universe
Yes.
saying, like, testing me to say don't
Yes,
do it,
yes, it
or like
fucking
is it
is.
like the test to say you've earned this, Liam? And
that's how you justify it to yourself, right?
that's how I justified it to myself. Like
You've earned this,
it's
right?
like what you said, bro. That little voice touching on your shoulder, like saying, brother, you know the answer to this. You shouldn't do it. Like,
But I'm going to put the temptation there. Adam and Eve, bro, back to the fucking beginning of time.
yeah.
There's an apple in the garden. It tastes really fucking good. You should eat it. Even though fucking you know full well and good that you shouldn't.
Yeah, bro. And like I knew that, and obviously I had a couple of beers there and went home, and my housemate was smoking weed again.
Well, here we go.
So I was
Giddy
like,
up.
yeah. And the shame that I felt, bro, from having that Billy, I was so paranoid, bro, and so guilty. I was like, you just did a year clean. And like the day after, and like I was going to groups, like talk groups in the evenings for addiction, and you know, you can get gifts of like recovery, like they're like milestones, and And I didn't go and get my year. Instead, I drank a beer and then smoked some weed. And I was just so fucking... And that's what started it again. I was like, fuck it, I'll just start just doing the same thing. And, you know, I'd met a girl at the time then, and, you know, she was young, and like she liked to drink too, so we'd have drinks, we'd go out and have a couple of drinks and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, I was smoking again full time. And then we had a falling out. And
the other one, right?
And I obviously still, over that whole year, I ate shit food. I got fat. Like, I didn't work on any of my emotions, how to handle them. I was just clean, living clean. That's what I was doing. And, which you can do, but it ain't gonna last forever.
Yeah.
And that went sideways with her, and it wasn't long before I went and picked back up on the gear.
And that would probably brought you up to the most recent time of trying to get family.
Well, that was like a lapse, and so much shit happened within that lapse, bro, of just like drama, and like it was just fucked, bro. Like, but then so like I was like, okay, I'll stop that, and then it came to the point where I was just back smoking weed and drinking. I hadn't touched that in a bit, and then we had to move out of this house. I was sharing with 2 other addicts that I met in rehab, and they went off the rails. Like, so because we weren't getting the house again. So I had to move out, and I found a place with one of my mates, and that was fine. Like, we were doing that, and I'd have little slips here on it. You know what I mean? Something would happen,
And you go to the thing.
and I'd go to that. Like, something bad would happen. Like,
yeah.
where I was still smoking the whole time and having some beers and shit. But then it was like I'd eat a Xanax, bro, because I had 1,000 Zennies on me. Like, my mate was moving them. He gave me 1,000. And that's where it came to, like, you can make some money. So I kept 1,000 for myself, and I made a little bit of money. But the money went that quick. It was like...
Especially when you someone's Zannies, well, they're like fucking $10 a brick.
Like, I was doing bulk, like 1,000 at a time, and I didn't make that much money, like, and it was just fucking annoying anyway. Like, I didn't put the effort into on a set. Like, I couldn't sell drugs, bro. And then I kept 1,000 for myself, and I'd eat them, and then it would be on. Like, I knew what was happening before I even knew it. Like, I'd have one go have some beers, and I'm like, we're getting on the gear. All right. And I'd disappear.
This is what we're doing. We're going to put our foot in the door, and that's our way in the door. And then after that happens, we're going to do the next thing. And then it's before we even know it, we're back to square one.
We're back.
Yeah.
And then I lived at that house for about 9 months. 9 months? 8 months. Some sort of time. And then I had a couple of falls. And on one of those falls, that's when I decided to ring DRC Fit. And I was like, brother, I need fucking help. Like, I watch your shit all the time. I love watching your fucking character. And he got me on his program, and like I was going well. Like, I hadn't felt how I felt, but I was still smoking weed, but I still felt good.
Yeah.
You know, and
You're doing stuff for yourself.
Yes, and I was eating good, and I was trimmed up. Like, I look at photos, bro. I was skinny there, but like I didn't look healthy, but like I spin out on it. Like, even though I was feeling good and I was training and I was eating well, I didn't look healthy. You know what I mean? And then I had a couple of slips on it, went with him, and he's like, don't worry, bro, we'll get back on the fucking horse. Like, and he's in contact with you all the time, DRC, like every day. Like,
great coach, man.
He is a great coach, and then I just went MIA, bro. You know what I mean? Like, went off it, and then I had a big I think it was a stray day last year. Maybe no, it wasn't that. It was a day last year. It was like one of the fucking public holidays, and I got on it, and like I was seeing a girl from Sunny Coast too at this time as well. She'd come down and visit. I met her at a festival at Rufus Festival, and we sort of just clicked like that, and like I sparked a joint up, and she like came over and like. We shared a joint. I was like, no, you're not going anywhere. You're sharing this with me now. And like, she asked for a puff, and So we connected, and she was a beautiful human, like being, and I'm so grateful to have been able to have the relationship that I had with her, even though like, you know, like how it went down, like she taught me a lot about being like a good partner and even just being a calm person, like not having drama, not having bickery fights, like. I'm really grateful that I got to meet her, and we're still friends now, like to this day. And like she runs mindset reset like groups, and she's like that sort of person, and helps people. And so like and then I had one major like with the relapse, and my housemate was like, "I told you can't have it here," and I was like, "I don't use it here." He's like, "You can't have it here." And I'm like, I use it outside and I come back, and he's like, "You got to go by the end of the week." And that was like Thursday. And I was like, he's like, "You got to be out by fucking the weekend." I'm like, "Where the fuck am I going to go?" And like my brother has a house that we owned, all the siblings bought a house and like in Mollendina, and I knew I could go there, but like I've shot up in that room. Like I was wigging out about going back to a room where I'd fucking...
Where you previously used.
Where I was, like, using in, bro, and, like...
Yeah, bro.
And there's drama that went down there, like... And I, like, took a car one time, his missus' car without asking, and like, got found out. The next door neighbour was like, "Your car's been..." And, like, not only that, I took the car, like, 2 weeks after her brother took the car and got held it for ransom for fucking drugs. So, like, she thought the car got stolen again, but it was me. And, like, so I just caused this, like, event. Like, it was just, I was so much shame to go back there, bro.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go back there and, like...
Thanks, Siri.
Thanks, Siri. My partner at the time up in Sunny Coast had a bus. Like this camper bus. And she's like, "You just throw all your stuff in that." So, like, I was like, "Fuck, all right." And we parked that out the front of where I was. Like, Currumbin, if you know where Currumbin is, there's the school there that on the front. So there's that little off street before them buildings there. There was a bus parked there, and that just had all my shit in it. Like, everything that I owned was packed into this bus. And I was like, I just couldn't handle staying at my brother's. So I was like, I set up a bed in the bus, so I'd be sleeping in that at like on the weekends. Fuck, it was hot in there, bro. No,
Okay. I'd rather do that camping trip up to Cairns, man. Fucking sleeping in a fucking bus.
Come on, brother.
it was cooking in there, bro. Especially, you couldn't sit in there for the day. You had to go do something.
No,
like.
of course not.
But yeah, and like I didn't have a license at this time. Still was doing my like I haven't had my license for like fucking so long, bro. I've lost it like 11 times throughout my life having it. Like, and I was doing a 2.5 year stint for that, and so I was getting around on a skateboard, electric skateboard.
Yeah.
It was my way to get to work. Everything I was back doing my trade.
Yeah.
Which was going well, and then it just started to go downhill real quick. When I had to move out of the house, like I'd stopped training, I stopped eating because I wasn't cooking, and it didn't take long for my mental health to take a major turn, where I was just opening that drawer up with them bars, bro.
Yeah.
And whenever I picked them up, I fucking anything went, bro. I knew I was going to the chemist to buy a fucking yellow box, bro. A little bin. And I could get gear anywhere, bro. Oh, you just need your phone.
Yeah.
Go on any app.
Yeah.
If you know the right apps to get it, there's always drugs on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like I remember I went and caught up with my mates. I hadn't seen in a while, and I ended up getting on it, and I don't even know how I left there, bro. I think I might have stayed there the night. Maybe. Actually, yeah, I think I did. I passed out. We got on the piers. I stayed there the night, got up, skated all the way back to like the tram, and skated all. Like, it was a mission, bro. That was in Pack Pines. I skated from there
So
to,
these ways.
to the tram, got the tram all the way to fucking, or actually the train, got it all the way to Varsity, then boosted all the way down to Currumbin. And got to the van, messaged my other mate, Eggy, and they were down in Cooley, and I'm like, I'm coming down. And he's not afraid of a good time either, bro, so I took it down to like fucking 10 in the bars, and I don't even remember being down there. There's a photo. I don't remember being there. Don't remember leaving. Apparently I messaged my boss. I wasn't coming to work the next day. I can't remember that. And I had a dealer that lived out Coomera Way. Apparently I got there from Surfers on my skatey. No fucking idea, bro, how I got from Currumbin to Surfers to fucking
Coomera, yeah.
And then, you know, I can remember getting there now, and just doing up a big red. And then I remember them saying, "Do you want a dose of Frank?" And I was like, "Yeah, two and a half. I'll be right."
Yeah.
And I remember that now, but that would have been my last memory if I actually died that night. That was when I had my overdose. Apparently the ambulance I was found at like 1 o'clock. Apparently I was just laying there for ages, like snoring heaps loud, and then I just went,
Yeah.
and I was just out. Went purple. And I just remember waking up in the hospital, bro. Like strapped down to the bed. I couldn't see anything. Everything was blurry. I just saw like fucking 4 heads in front of me, and like I was in the horrors, bro. Like there was the tube shoved down my throat because I kept swallowing. Like my vomit kept going and back into like somewhere where it shouldn't have been, where it was going to kill me. So I had to suck it all out, and like I was just in the horrors, bro. Like I felt someone was like trying to suffocate me, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was dying. Like that's what I felt like, bro. It was scared like I was just fucking freaking out, bro. And I couldn't put a sentence together. I couldn't. And they're like, "Open your phone," and I was like, couldn't press any of my phone. Like through the time I was there, 'cause I was in and out of consciousness. Apparently I slept for like nearly 30 hours. I thought I was going to go into a coma. Apparently they had to bring me back. Like I don't even know. Like doctors have told me like they had to give me this something, which means I was like on the brink of death.
Adrenaline or some shit.
Like I was like pretty much gone. And yeah, like fuck the trauma that I got from that, bro. I come out of there so fucking fragile, bros, that I couldn't even look in the mirror, bro. Like, you think my self-worth was bad before that? I couldn't even fucking look in a mirror, cunt. Like that was me. I was officially broken. That was pretty much where I was then. And like I come out and I was so skinny, bro. Like my arms were the size of my wrist now. Like I look like a junkie, bro. That's what I look like.
Yeah.
That's how I'll say it. I look like a fucking junkie, bro. And like, yeah, and like so I dealt with that, and like my boss and that was so supportive, and like, you know, they're family friends.
Same
and,
boss you got now?
yeah, like,
Fuck, bro. That's just a blessing, eh?
and it was, man. Like he was driving around looking for me, bro, because I didn't show up to work. He was supposed to come, and I was just off grid, bro. Just disappeared. No one knew where I was. I was missing.
Hectic.
And like I'm always on my phone, like I'm always able to be reached.
Able to be reached, yeah.
Unless when I was on the gear, bro, I disappear.
Yeah.
By MIA, like, and yeah, like, so they were looking around, ringing everywhere, ringing all my mates. Like, have you seen Liam? Like, where is he? Like, and then they started ringing hospitals. Obviously, found me, and I remember like when I was in the hospital, I woke up and I saw my brother walk in, and I was like, fuck. Like I was just like, fucking hell, and like He'd take a photo of anything, that cunt. But he's like, bro, I couldn't take a photo of you that day. Just how I was laying in there, bro. I was just would have looked like death. I wish he did, but to see the photo, but you know, in a sense, I'm glad I don't have to see it because
Don't have to relive it.
no,
Yeah.
I relive it enough. And then it was only a month. Like I stayed out working, but I couldn't stop using.
Yeah, you're still obviously stuck in that cycle.
I was just eating it. I just needed to numb how I felt. I didn't want to think about it. Like I said, I couldn't go back to the gym. There's mirrors everywhere in that. I couldn't go on the street. I just people that had seen me, bro, were gonna have to see me again, and I was like 15 kilos lighter, bro. I was sick. That's what I looked like, and I was just so ashamed, bro. Like I couldn't deal with it, and so I was just using, and then my last time I used, that was when the come down was just too much. Like I had a red on Sunday, which boosted me into psychosis. So I got home to my house and I was up to like 2, and I thought there was like someone had messaged me saying I can see you. And like I was out the front like with a knife and a brick in my hand walking up and down my street, bro. Just like going, where are you?
Yeah.
Just come out.
Yeah.
I think about that, bro, and I'm like, fuck. That was me, bro. And I've been stuck in psychosis like that twice, bro. There was another story that's pretty wild. I'll share with you another day, but I was on a journey of just like in the back seat of my head, bro. Like on this journey of something crazy, man. And when you snap out of it and realise what you've done, you're like, fuck. Like you hate yourself, bro. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Just that shame again, right?
Yeah, man. So I ended up trying to get to sleep. I got to bed and going to work, and it wasn't good to be at work, bro. I was like, it's just too hot. I was actually working around the corner from here.
Yeah.
And I was just like struggling. And I ended up breaking down like to my workmate. And I was like, bro, I'm fucked. Like I don't think I can do this anymore. Like I'm so close to walking off. And like I got through that day. And like I just heard that one of my close mates had passed away from an overdose. Not close mate, but I grew up with him.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get clean I was watching him trying to get clean for a bit. He was clean for 18 months and then he picked up, had an overdose and died. And like even though we weren't like close anymore, like I knew him from school, like we were mates through school, but I just felt all his pain, bro.
Yeah.
And I felt like, and I was sitting at Burleigh Hotel bawling my eyes out, cunt. Like, I used every tea towel in that whole sports bar, bros. Every tablecloth, like paper towel, because I just couldn't stop crying, bro.
Yeah.
And everyone was walking past just looking at me. Just looking, staring and going like, what the fuck? And I was just crying, bro, like. And then, like, even then, bro, I was so alone, cunt. Like, and then, like, to have people walk past and just look at you, bro. And, like, it was just, it made me really realise how alone I was in life.
Realise where you're really at in your life, right?
Yeah, like, I was done, bro. And I rang my mate, he was in rehab at the time, and I was like, bro, and I was just bawling my eyes out to him, bro. And he's like, you right, cunt? And I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I need to either get in there now, or I'm out and checking out. Like, that's where I was in life. Like that's been the closest I have to being, like, I'm going to probably take my life.
Yeah.
And, I went home, I managed to get some sleep, woke up, and second day's always worse on the come down, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I managed to went to work, and I was just worse. I was so angry. I was touchy, like anything could happen. And by then, like, my boss came talked to him, and I sort of like broke down a bit, cried, like I had tears in my eyes. I was like, I'm not doing well. And then his missus, which is my other boss, she came and she saw me. I was up on this plank, like little thin plank, bro, and I'm up like the top of a ladder, and like I would have looked pretty shifty up there. Like I was right, but like she says I look shifty up there. but yeah, she came around and I just sat down on it and I just fucking let it all out, bro. I was like, oh, there's one place I can go right now. That's back to rehab. And I need to fucking go, or I'm not gonna last long here. Like I was just either gonna use and just overuse until I was same thing happened to me, ended up in hospital or dead, or I was ready to check out, bro.
Yeah.
If I didn't love my mum so much, I would have checked out, and I probably would have checked out a few times before that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and that, as soon as she left, she rang my sister. Lauren rang me straight up. She's like, I'm coming over to Savi. We're sorting it out.
Yeah.
And I'd already rung Monica the day before that. She's a lady that's like in the rehab.
Yeah.
And I just knew that I had to get in there, bro. I had to break the cycle. I knew that I could do it. Because when you relapse, bro, and you have a head full of recovery, it can fuck with you a bit. But I knew that I had to get in there just to break that cycle, bro. And
Yeah.
Let's say it takes fucking anywhere up to 66 days to break a habit, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I got in there and I did that, and
Here you are now.
And here I am, bro. Like, I knew what I had to fucking do. And, like, the best part about it was, bro, is I just knew I had to, like, I'm a bit of a, like, crazy with food now, like we all are.
We'll get there in a second.
You know?
We'll get there in a second. But first of all, bro, like, the changes you've made in the last 8 months are fucking phenomenal, man. Like, the things you're doing for yourself and obviously inspiring other people around you are just fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So for anyone that might be out there struggling with similar, like, what would be one piece of advice you'd like to give to them? Anyone, whether it be addiction, whether it be self-worth, whether it be habits they're trying to break, whatever it might be, there's that lack of belief in themselves that's stopping them from taking the action and pulling the trigger. What was the thing that got you through it?
What got me through it is, I mean, like, in a sense for me, like, I knew every time I picked up, I knew it was wrong. And I knew that there was more for me.
Yeah.
And
so in other words,
that
you
was,
just didn't listen to the taps on the shoulder.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, that's 100% it. I didn't listen to the taps. But, like, I mean, for anyone who's out there that wants to have it, like, you just need to, I mean, first of all, is not give up. Not just accept that that's your life, like, and that you can't live without it, because that's where you'll be stuck for a long, long time. Like, I didn't allow myself. I once believed that I couldn't live without it, but I knew that there was more without it. Mm-hmm. So I tried to. I held on to that. I grasped to that, bro. Whatever I could, like.
That hope for something
just
else.
That hope, bro, that there was something else out there. Because people say that you see people and they're normal and they're doing well. I didn't give a fuck about anyone, bro. I was too revolved around myself, bro. So self-centered.
The drug does that to you, though, bro.
When I say self-centered, I thought everyone was thinking about me, bro.
Yeah.
I was the center of the world, bro. But I was the biggest piece of shit in the world too, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't worry about any of that, bro, like the Norman, but in the end, man, I held on to that hope, bros. And I can't even put into words sometimes what happened with me this time, bro. Like,
you mean a shift?
It just shifted, bro. I just knew I couldn't do it. I wanted to live, bro. And when you're in that fight, bro, of wanting to live and wanting to die, but you can't kill yourself.
Yeah, the good outweighs the bad then.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I need to live.
Yeah.
I need to hold on to anything. And I knew that if I got in there, bro, I found the strength to get back in there, I could do it. I believed that I could fucking do it. And that was what I did, man. I fought through it. I listened, I shut the fuck up, and I listened. Instead of just thinking that I fucking know everything.
You dropped the ego.
Yeah, the ego was gone. Because I was dusted, bro.
Ego was dead.
Yeah. That ego's fucking got me nowhere for 29 years.
Yeah.
They can leave. You know what I mean? See you later. Because it had nothing, there was nothing left of it.
So drop the ego and listen.
That's it.
Listen to the fucking taps.
Listen to the taps, bro. And like, disconnect yourself from fucking that life.
Yeah. That's the big one, bro.
If you're going to stay in, like, if you even keep, like, I can understand a lot of people, because I've met a lot of addicts. The house is always, there's different addicts in there every time you go into that house. But, like, there's a lot of people I can understand you can't get away with it. If it's family, if it's, you know, your partner, like, or your ex, you have kids with. Like, but you need to put yourself first before that. And people are like, oh, but my kids come first. And it's like, what came first in addiction?
You can't pour from an empty cup.
But what came first in addiction?
Yeah.
You used your addiction, like you were in drugs and your addiction, put them before your kids. So why can't you put yourself before your kids to better yourself for your kids? So like,
that's exactly right, man.
And like, I don't have kids, but like, I'm a very observant person in a sense. And like, but in the end, it always comes down to you. And like, and all relationships are the same. You need to distance yourself. Like, I had to cut everyone off, bro.
Yeah, bro. I know that feeling all too well.
Like, there's no way I could be around. Like, and like, I still have people that are my mates, but I have to distance myself from it. Because it's negative, man.
Yeah.
All it is negative.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even have them jokes anymore, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and be a dickhead. Like,
Yeah.
I just, it's just not me anymore, man. And it puts me in a negative mind frame, and then it makes me remember that mind frame, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm so far from that now, bro. Like,
Yeah, I know you are, bro. I've fucking seen you change.
Yeah.
The last time. I didn't know you before you got out of rehab this most recent time, but the shit you've done in this fucking last 8 months is phenomenal, bro. You're looking after yourself. You're fucking about to fucking finish your trade, which you still held through that entire time. You got your license back, bro. It's like the ultimate freedom. You've got a house full of good lads that you live with. You got yourself surrounded with good people, man.
yeah, right.
But that shit doesn't happen overnight, man. That's all your work that you've put in and actually the fucking sacrifices that you've made.
Man.
And it's fucking just amazing to see, bro, because I know, obviously, I went through similar. Not down so deep with the needles and everything, but fuck, bro, like, same, right?
Yeah.
And I know what it felt like to get out of that, bro. So I just want to say I'm fucking so proud of you, my man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate
So
it.
fucking proud of you,
Man,
bro.
ever since, like, it's funny, coming to Mega Run was the best thing that's ever happened to me, bro.
I hear that.
Because,
I hear that, bro.
like, I met you through, like, obviously through Will.
Yeah.
And, like, bro, I feel like I've connected with you more than anyone in my life. Like, in the last 8 months, I've connected with you more than that. Like, I feel like I have actual, like I was saying it to Will the other week, bro, like, Gold Coast finally, like, I'm 10 years, bro, on the coast nearly. And it fucking finally feels like it's home, bro. Like, I have a home here. The whole time I've been so just lost in my life, bro, and not had a home, not had people.
Do you know why that is, though, bro? It's because you're starting to find yourself.
Yeah, bro. And, like, I spin myself out, bro. I love, because I'm on social media and, like, I'm on Instagram and I share things, but I share things because it's, like, a lot of people that follow me know where I've come from, too, and it's, like, I love being able to show people that you can have more. You know what I mean? Like, you can do more, have more.
You can have whatever you want in your life.
Anything, bro.
We are all so capable of anything we want.
Yeah.
It's just about pulling that trigger.
Oh, bro.
So, big man, what's the fucking goals for the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself 5 years from today? I love this one, especially for you, bro. I love to hear this.
Oh. Goals, eh? I just want to, like, for me, obviously, like, finish my trade, and I want to obviously look into, like, I know within time I'll find something that I want to, like, invest some bit more time into. Like, I wouldn't mind helping people I feel like it's my purpose in life to give back and help someone, bro. Like, it's always been the same. I swear, like, even just like when you used to have conversations when you're in high school, like, you know, with people, and you like, they used to say, "Fuck, you can help."
If if it's your purpose, bro, it doesn't change. It just evolves as you do.
Yeah. So like, I want to look into that, and obviously, I just want to join, like, get right into my fitness, bro. Like, I've just signed up to the my next op
Yeah.
just today.
Yeah, I know.
Which is gonna be
Just
just
Scotty having it and fucking the boys.
yeah, bro. It's gonna
That'll
be
be good
next
for you,
level.
bro.
You know, like, I've obviously started training at that Never Quit gym, which I'm really enjoying, and gym saved my life, bro.
Holla. Same, brother.
Like, man, if you feel like shit out there, get to a fucking gym, bro. And it's pain. It'll be a lot of pain before you actually fucking fall in love with it.
Yeah, but it's so worth it.
But
man.
once you fall in love with it, what it does for you, how it makes you feel, and then if you add in fucking good food, like, you know, like I was saying, bro, like when I first I was clean for a year, bro. I was just eating shit, like sugar, fucking pizza, Chinese all the time.
Oh, all the food groups.
Just disgusting. Just the cheap shit.
All
Now-
the food groups in the food pyramid.
Oh man, yeah, pretty much. Everyone eats dudes. You'll live very happily. And then like, which is why I laugh sometimes when people like, if you want to feel good in life, you got to just eat. Like, I'm eating grass-fed meat. I'm eating like, I go to the markets to get my veggies.
Just do the basics and do them well, right?
Yeah, and I drink better. I don't drink tap water.
Oh.
And everyone's like, "Oh, you're one of them people."
Yeah, put
I'm
your
like-
hat on, mate.
And I'm like, fucking oath, I'm one of them people because, mate, ever since I started drinking that,
Yeah.
my legs feel amazing.
Yeah.
My joints are fine. Skin, like, I have eczema, bro. It's always been a problem. My skin's amazing now, bro.
It's all because of the stuff you're putting into your
And
body,
it's
man.
that. It's obviously all just because of that. And I wake up happy as fuck every day, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't feel depressed. I used to think like depression was like my life, bro. Like I would just be surrounded by it, but then I would feed it.
Yeah.
I'd feed that, bro. It's like putting wood on a fire.
Yeah.
I'd feed depression.
You focus on it and then you become more of it.
Exactly. That's why, like, in a sense, for me personally, I don't really believe. I believe that you can be depressed. You can feel depressed, but like you can't be it.
You've got to give the energy to it.
Yeah, and like, which is like, it's sad to see, like, you go in there and you say you're upset and they just throw pharmaceutical drugs at you, bro. Yeah, that'll make you feel better.
Just feed the machine.
Still eat all the shit that you eat.
Yeah.
Don't get off your ass. Don't get any sunlight. Like any of that.
Yeah.
You'll feel fine off these tablets.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck. I believe that once upon a time, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm so glad that I found that out for myself nearly, bro.
I hear that, man. I hear that.
Like
It's like a journey
I
of
worked it out
self-discovery,
and it wasn't that someone just kept telling me. It's like I just knew, bro. Like I knew my whole life that what I was doing was wrong, bro. That voice was always there. It wasn't anyone else's.
Listen
Like, you
to the
shouldn't-
fucking taps on the shoulder, brother.
Yeah, man. It was always telling me, bro, like, this is shit food.
Yeah.
Don't eat it.
Yeah.
Scratch your face off. It's because you ate that shit food.
Yeah.
Like, man, now I do that, bro. I feel amazing. I wake up happy. I never feel depressed.
Do the simple things and do them well, right?
Like, I can be sad, bro. Like, obviously, I rang you the other week. I was going through something over a person, and like, I was sad about that, bro. But it was a grieving process because I had to let go of someone. You know what I mean? And like, so that's just grieving.
Yeah.
And that's normal.
And you can feel that emotion now, and you find a sit in it.
And I sat in it, and it wasn't overpowering where I had to use or like,
Yeah.
or numb myself, and even though it hurt, I'm sort of happy. I'm happy it happened.
Because you're better off now, right?
And like when I rang you, bro, I cried on the beach, And I love that too, bro. Like that's the first time I've used that technique in my life, bro, where I was feeling vulnerable. Pick up the phone, make a phone call. And I rang, and the phone didn't even ring twice, mate. And you answered the phone, bro, and you were there, and like, I don't know, I've never had that fucking support in my life, bro. Like, like, I have family, but sometimes I don't want to talk to family, and
Of course not. And the thing is, it's like lived experience, bro, because they probably don't understand what you're going
No.
through. They'll tell you to probably go see a doctor or something like that,
they would. I know that, though.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Yeah, I hear that, man.
and they have their own sort of shit as well, and like even since then, bro, I just let go. And never messaged them again, and moved the fuck on, bro.
The bigger and better things, my man.
And now I'm just climbing, bro. I'm on my way to the top.
Yeah, bro.
I can't wait, bro. Like,
This is the thing, right? Happiness is a choice, and you've made that choice now, brother. And that's what it's all about, is having that realization that we choose the outcome. It's up to us and no one else, man.
that's exactly right.
So before we finish up, brother, where can people find you? For anyone that might want to reach out and have a bit of a yarn, and even just, if I can share their story with you, because I feel like you will do amazing. Not feel like, I know you will do amazing things with helping people, because your story is very similar to mine.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there can benefit just from hearing that, hey, it's okay, like I can get through this. So where can people find you, brother?
Well, I'm pretty much just on Instagram, like.
Or Tinder? And you can find his Instagram.
Nah, you can find my Instagram. It's not linked, sorry, but yeah, it's worthy. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what it is. Not
I'll
worthy.
tag you in the show notes and everything as well, bro.
Yeah.